This should be a very interesting and slightly different video because I'm going to do something that I usually don't do, and I'm going to post a little clip of someone who's a former Xbox person, like one of the original Xbox team members, who was speaking out, and she was actually speaking out about Xbox recently, and she made a lot of sense with what she was saying. And the thing is, right, there's this contingent of quote-unquote Xbox fan that thinks what Microsoft is doing now is fine, or because Microsoft says, hey, we're going to continue to do hardware, it means that they're going to continue to do it. I mean, if you're going to believe when they say, hey, we're going to continue to be hardware, did you believe also when they said, hey, it's only 4 games, or it's only this, or it's only that? Like, I think that's like the biggest kind of difference when this kind of stuff kind of comes about. It's just like you really don't know exactly where this kind of stuff stops, or what to believe, or what not to believe. And that's really an unfortunate kind of situation when this stuff happens. But at the same point in time, we have to really kind of be aware of this kind of thing. And I think she makes a lot of sense when she's talking about it, how like the moves that she's making is really kind of trying to be there to to get an exit out of the hardware business. And how Phil Spencer says one thing, which I've mentioned this a lot. Phil Spencer lies an awful lot, and she brings it up. She's like, a year ago Phil Spencer was saying that $70 game, raising your prices to $70 a game, could be manipulative. And then a year later, they're going to have $80 games, so realistically, like, what she's saying is really, really interesting, and I want you guys to listen to it and pay attention with an open heart and open mind.
After all, Xbox has been pivoting a lot lately.
Yep, that's me. And you're probably wondering how I ended up here. Well, it's pretty standard.
Remember when they talked about the importance of high-quality games, but then shut down the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush? What about Game Pass? One of the defining features was Day One games, and now there are tiers that don't offer the feature at all. Last year, Phil expressed how $70 pricing could feel manipulative to gamers, and now he's on board with charging $80 for Outer Worlds 2. Will it be Halo? Will it be the new Gears? Is there going to be a game so compelling that it drives me to adopt this new handheld? Well, here's the problem. Xbox doesn't do exclusives anymore. Even if Xbox delivers a crazy, great game, Xbox Anywhere means that I can play that game on any platform. And of course, delivering a killer game in a reasonable time frame isn't something Xbox is particularly good at right now. During the showcase, there were several games still in development that weren't even mentioned, like State of Decay 3, Perfect Dark, and Fable. And many of these games have been in development over 5 years. There is only one reason these games are behind. It's because Xbox has lost their culture of shipping at scale. They don't have the people or the process in place that can ship. And it's a shame because they used to do better than anyone in the business. Recently, Microsoft announced that they were going to be doing layoffs. A lot of people are speculating that it's going to be the sales division, but I'm not so sure. I think that if I was working on one of the games that didn't make the showcase, or if I was in the Xbox hardware team, I would be worried. The Xbox Anywhere message sounds great on the surface, but in reality, it's just marketing. It's style with no substance. There is literally no reason to buy this handheld. Obviously, as one of the founding members of the Xbox team, I'm not pleased with where things are today. I don't love watching all of the value that I helped create slowly get eroded away. I'm sad because from my perspective, it looks like Xbox has no desire or literally can't ship hardware anymore. So this partnership is about a slow exit from the hardware business completely.
I mean, so what do you guys think about that? So this is somebody who actually helped build up the original Xbox brand and things like that. Not happy with how things are going. Really, calls out Phil Spencer, and which I think is something that needed to be done. Like, you have to be able to call out people, and you have to be able to say this is wrong. It's like, how many people do you guys know? And this is the thing, right? Because I think, in one hand, you have Phil, who is an actual gamer. On the other hand, he clearly wasn't really up to the task of running Xbox division, right? I mean, if you look at the things, like I mentioned, there was a lot of panic choices, I think, like the Play Anywhere stuff, where, okay, we're going to give them a free copy of the game. Like, that's not consumer-friendly stuff. That's really a panic thing. And you know what? It sounds good on paper, But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of people that are playing on both a console and a PC, and so it's really just kind of going, okay, we're going to placate these people or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so that's I think the real issue in and of itself. And the whole fact is that it looks like they canceled an actual handheld that could have played your library for something that already exists, but now it's going to have an Xbox logo on it. You know, that's really like Microsoft pulling the rug out from underneath people. And I still see people like on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, who say, you know what? This thing plays all your games. Because if you go back and you look at the announcement of this thing, they say play all your games natively, right? But it's like they're saying, you know, like your PC games or the Play Anywhere games, but the Play Anywhere stuff has not been widely supported, and that's like been a real issue as well. I know people go, you see, oh well, there's over 1,000 Play Anywhere games, but have you actually looked at the list of Play Anywhere games? Right, it's mostly indies and games that people probably have very little interest in, and then of course like the first party stuff, which can be okay at times, but mostly it's a back catalog of really pathetic and low scoring games from Microsoft. So yeah, it's like, you know, there's not really much there to kind of get a hold of. And then, you know, you just look at the way that they're kind of handling things, and I just think that it's not a good look for them. It's not a good look for how I want to be as a gamer at the end of the day. You know, I hope that they can get into, you know, being a little bit more into the whole console thing, because it just really feels like they have zero interest in that right now. And so when you see this, it's like, okay, what is the point of their platform? What is the point of them, you know, of them doing any of this stuff if they're not going to be able to get people to get exclusives and things like that? That is like the big, huge issue, in my opinion anyway, with the entire Xbox idea. Is like, they're like, we don't care if you buy our stuff. Then why would people buy it? Why would developers invest any time to do any kind of you know, games or anything like that? Why would anybody do any of that stuff? I just really feel like that's something that Microsoft has really yet to answer, and it's unfortunate, because I feel like, you know, that people do deserve an answer, and that we need an answer, and that it's something that Microsoft should definitely have planned a little bit better. It's just like, you can just tell that a lot of the things that they're doing, right, that they don't really have much of a plan, or it's just because like you have a plan previously, and then when you have a situation where it just seems like they up and change course in the middle of doing something else. It's really a sad kind of state of affairs, honestly, and I think that that's a problem. So when you have somebody who used to work at Xbox and they're going, Xbox is off path, and you know, if you're somebody like me who really liked the direction of the original Xbox or the Xbox 360, I think it's easy to kind of look at how things are now and go, oh well, yeah, they really kind of screwed things up and they kind of messed things up, and this is unfortunate for all those involved. So, you know, yeah, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow, in my opinion. I agree with her on all of her points. The points that she makes are definitely like a lot of the same points that I make, and you know, that I try to get across to everybody, because let's just be real here. You know, Xbox is needed in the gaming industry, and without them being around, I think that that's really a negative all across the board. You know, that's super unfortunate. And you know, again, what's going to happen in the future with this stuff? You know, I just, you know, what it would be the reason to buy an Xbox at this particular point? It's just like, you know, I don't really understand their thought process behind this. If you want things to kind of stick around, if you want things to be, you know, competitive, if you want to stay in the race or whatever the case may be, I think you have to be able to, you know, have something that's going to be competitive, that's going to be there, that's going to attract people. You know, maybe it's Game Pass, but I mean, Game Pass has been around for what, 8 years already, and I think it's probably attracted as many people as it's going to right now. So again, we'll see how all this kind of stuff winds up. But I'm curious to hear what everyone else thinks about this. How do you feel about what she had to say? What's your thoughts on the current state of Xbox in general? Do you think it's something they can recover from or not? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crab Gamer out.